since the ceasefire. My name is Jude Omamegbe, and this is the news.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Good afternoon and welcome. We begin the news this Wednesday afternoon with a statement from the Defense Headquarters of Nigeria, which has been generating many reactions. The statement, which was posted on X shortly before midnight, states, "It is an honor to serve in the Nigerian military. Unshaken, unbent, unbroken." The statement follows a heated altercation in Abuja's Gaduwa district earlier on Tuesday between the FCT minister, Yinsu Wike, and a young naval officer now identified as A.M. Yerima over allegations of land grabbing. Reports indicate that Yerima led a team of soldiers to block the minister and his entourage, insisting that they were following higher orders. Wike, angered by the resistance, warned that his administration will not allow anyone, regardless of rank, to intimidate government officials or violate due process. Have a listen to the altercation as it unfolded.
And then you to carry land.
Sir, everything was acquired legally.
Will you stop that?
Will
you stop that?
Sir, I'm an officer, I have integrity.
Shut up, your mouth, good officer.
Will not shut up.
Will you get out?
Sir, I won't shut up. Sir,
I was in school, you're going to school.
Sir, you can't shut
Will
me
you
up.
keep quiet?
You can't shut me up, sir.
Food.
I'm not a
fool.
I'm not a fool,
You can
sir.
shoot anybody like that.
Sir, I'm not a fool.
Who are you?
I am not a fool, sir.
After the time I graduated, you are primary
I'm
school.
acting on orders.
For which
You can't
order?
call me a fool.
You say whether you love it here.
Sir, you can't call me a fool.
Go on,
I'm
people,
an officer.
people.
I'm not a fool, sir.
You will kill everybody here.
No, we won't kill anybody. We won't kill anybody, sir. We are acting on orders.
Well, the statement has, however, sparked mixed reactions on X. While some Nigerians praised it as a strong affirmation of military discipline and professionalism, others expressed concern it could signal support for military involvement in civil matters. X users are also debating Officer Yerima's conduct. They are calling for clearer boundaries between military operations and civilian governance, urging the armed forces to focus on national security rather than land disputes. Human rights activist and 2023 presidential candidate Omoyele Sowore has also lent voice to the incident. Sowore condemned the confrontation between FCT Minister Wike and military personnel over the disputed land in Gaduwa district, calling it a sign of misplaced priorities and self-interest among officials. Sowore criticized the military for protecting land owned by a former chief of naval staff instead of focusing on national security. Meanwhile, the coalition of military veterans has weighed in, urging the presidency to call the FCT minister to order. The coalition, in a statement by its spokesperson Abiodun Durowaye Herberts on Tuesday, described the minister's conduct as disgraceful and unbecoming of a public office or holder. Durowaye Herbert said Wike should have engaged the chief of naval staff privately rather than resorting to abusive language. He warned that any move to sanction the officer would be met with stiff resistance from the veterans. Amid the veterans' warning against sanctioning the officer, the FCT minister spokesperson Lere Olayinka offered a detailed explanation of the land dispute that triggered the clash. Speaking on Channels Television today, Wednesday, Olayinka defended the minister's actions during Tuesday's confrontation with a naval officer in Abuja. He said the disputed Mabushi land, originally allocated in 2007 for park and recreation, was illegally partitioned and sold by the company that held it, including 2 retired Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Awal Gambo. Olayinkan argued that Gambo had no valid title or approved building plan and did not submit any building plan to Development Control for approval, yet attempted to assert ownership using military might. The aide to Minister Wike further emphasized that the land is designated for public and corporate buildings, not private residences. Well, away from Abuja and back here in Rivers State, attention turns to infrastructure as Governor Siminalayi Fubara criticizes the contractor handling Indele Omofo Egamini Agba Indele road project over slow progress and poor quality work. Speaking during an inspection of a section leading to the ongoing Abua Agba Indele Bridge, Governor Fubara expressed displeasure with the road contractor while praising the work on the main bridge. He hinted at a possible review of the contract and assured that the deplorable state of the Ahoda Abua Road would be addressed in the 2026 budget. Let's take a listen to the governor.
The contractor that we gave the job of the road from the bridge is not doing a good job, and I'm not happy about it. I think there will be need for me to review that contract. If I should borrow the words of my Oga, they don't have the capacity. So I need the capacity because we should have value for money. But so far, I can tell you that I'm really impressed with what I've seen on the bridge. I'm very sure that before the end of January, it might be completely free for us to walk through and even drive across.
Oh well, the bridge under construction is expected to link Abua Odua, Ahoda East and Emowa local government areas through the Agba Ndele community to the East-West Road. Well, just as Governor Fubara was inspecting roads, residents in parts of Port Harcourt say they are already living with the daily pain of bad roads. Imagine a woman wading through moldy floodwaters on foot just to avoid losing her pregnancy to the sharp bumps and deep potholes on the road. That, according to tricycle riders, is the reality for communities along the Rumosi Slaughter and Ozuoba cornerstone axis of the Port Harcourt metropolis. Keke drivers who spoke with our correspondent Nnamdi Wala lamented that the failed GRA Phase 5 link road has made movement a nightmare. They say most of their daily earnings now go into tricycle repairs and even drugs to treat body pains from navigating through rough terrain. Let's take a listen to that, please.
When pregnant women enter keke from here, when they reach that road, seaside, that is worst, they have to come down because of the road. Use leg cross, then enter keke again because of the condition of the road.
The worst part is when rain fall now, flood go full everywhere, nowhere to put tire. And if you walk keke today, tomorrow it go spoil. And so if they spend money, the road is too bad. Well. From Slaughter to Cornerstone Junction, all of them bad.
The road is worrying us. Every day we are going to mechanic.
We need government to help us and hold the road. Even after we work, our body will like say we carry stone. If I work finish, the money I work for the day, I use and go buy medicine. It just be like say no do yourself. The road no good.
A stark reality for some, sadly. Meanwhile, some oil-bearing communities in Rivers State have taken complaints of environmental damage and neglect by international oil companies to a people's tribunal. The tribunal, organized by Social Action and National Human Rights Commission, is gathering grievances from residents over pollution and unaddressed oil spills. On Tuesday, community members told the tribunal that several spills remain unresolved. On his part, a human rights activist, Haya King, who appeared before the tribunal, explained the demands of the host communities.
federal government, state government should come to the aid of the people because they are part of this community. If the environment is devastated, the environment is bad, the air is polluted, they also breathe the same air. So I don't know why they are not interested in making sure that we are only asking for treat us the way you are treating other human beings because we are also human beings. Our own federal government, by making appropriate laws, sanctioning these international oil companies to make sure they do the right thing.
Well, we move on now to some applicants who participated in the 2023 River State Civil Service recruitment exercise today staged a peaceful protest in Port Harcourt. Now, calling on the Governor Sim Fubara, to issue them their employment letters. The protesters who converged at Isaac Borough Park marched through Azikiri Road, to the government house, carrying placards and chanting solidarity songs. Reading a protest letter on behalf of the group, Ajoku Okechukwu said they had successfully completed the screening and documentation process and therefore deserve to be given their appointment letters.
We are all successful beneficiaries of the 10,000 jobs who have been screened, interviewed, and documented by the River State Civil Service Commission since September/October 2023 that haven't been documented and appointed. Our posting letter are to be given to us with a plead.
Well, you will recall that the recruitment process was cancelled by Governor Siminalayi Fubara with a promise to conduct another recruitment exercise. And from the civil service protest, let us head to the courtroom, where the trial of 4 suspects accused of kidnapping and killing pharmacist Muenelalo Sunday from Zakbo in Kana local government area hit a setback on Tuesday at the River State High Court in Port Harcourt. The case, which was scheduled for the adoption of final written addresses, could not proceed because the lawyer for the first defendant, Collins Adele, said he had not filed his submission. The prosecution and other defense lawyers did not oppose the request. Presiding Judge Augusta Kinsley Chukwu adjourned the case to the 18th of November 2025 for the adoption of the final addresses. The 4 defendants, Confidence Kiani, also known as General Ila, Precious Muna, Loveday Lega, and Sonia Barry Saga, are standing trial for allegedly kidnapping and killing Sunday. Others still at large are also accused of killing, mutilating, and dumping the victim's body in a pit. Well, we'll go on a short break. When we return, we put a spotlight on border cross security crisis, with lawmakers raising alarm that over 95% of entry points into Nigeria are unmanned. Stay tuned. Good afternoon. Welcome back. This is the major news. My name is Jude Omamegbe. And if you're just joining us, need not worry. Before we say our goodbyes this afternoon, we will go through the stories that we shared earlier on. But let's continue now, as 6 directors of the Ministry of Defense were kidnapped on Monday while traveling from Lagos to Abuja for a promotion examination. The officers were identified as Mrs. Ngozi Ibiekiazo, Mrs. C.A. Emeribe, Mrs. C. Helen Eziako, Mrs. C.A. Ladoye, Mrs. J.A. Onwuzurike, Mrs. Catherine O. Essien. Security operatives have been deployed to search for them. The Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria is calling for decentralized examinations to avoid exposing officers to dangers on the highways. Still on insecurity, bandits attacked Akalije village in Sokoto State, killing 5 people, including a pregnant woman. 2 others were injured. In Kebbi State, police arrested a suspected bandit in Bagudu LGA and recovered guns and cartridges. The suspect has been transferred to the State Criminal Investigation Department for further interrogation. Meanwhile, lawmakers are raising alarm about Nigeria's weak border protection. The House of Representatives says 1,894 out of 1,978 official entry points into Nigeria are unguarded. Chairman of the House Ad hoc Committee on Border Security, Issa Anka, made the disclosure on Tuesday during the inauguration of the committee in Abuja. He warned that porous borders are allowing illegal arms, human trafficking, and drug smuggling to thrive. Mr. Anka also noted that the government has spent over 9 trillion naira on security in recent years, yet the challenges persist. Speaker of the House Abbas Tajuddin called for stronger collaboration, intelligence sharing, and community support to protect Nigeria's sovereignty. In another developing story, economic frustration is pushing pensioners back to the streets. The Coalition of Federal Pensioners of Nigeria says it will hold a nationwide naked protest on the 24th of November if the government fails to pay outstanding arrears. National Chairman Mukiala Ogumbote said pensioners are still waiting, for the approved 32,000 naira increment and 25,000 naira palliative allowance promised since 2023. He said workers have received their palliatives, but pensioners have been abandoned. Ogumbote warned that pensioners in the diaspora will also join to make the protest global. He appealed to President Bola Tinubu, the Minister of Finance, and the Accountant General of the Federation to urgently release the funds.
And now the business news.
Well, in business, the federal government says it is moving ahead with environmental reforms. An interministerial committee has been inaugurated to enforce the nationwide ban on single-use plastics. The committee was launched in Abuja by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume. The ban covers plastic bags, sachet water, styrofoam, plastic straws, and PET bottles. According to the government, the goal is to reduce pollution, protect public health, and safeguard land and marine ecosystems. The committee includes representatives from key ministries, agencies, and civil society groups and will monitor compliance across the country. In sports, Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has condemned the federal government over the reported boycott of training by the Super Eagles ahead of Thursday's crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup playoff against Gabon. Obi expressed disappointment that Nigerian players who consistently represent the nation are still owed allowances, calling the situation shameful and a bad example for young Nigerians. He urged authorities to promptly resolve the issue and ensure athletes are treated with dignity and respect. The protest comes just 2 days before the playoff in Rabat, Morocco, after the squad and staff refused to train over unresolved financial disputes with football authorities. And finally, from the international scene, satellite images reviewed by the BBC Verify show that Israel has destroyed more than 1,500 buildings in areas of Gaza that have remained under its control since the ceasefire with Hamas started on the 10th of October. The new photos, the latest of which was taken on the 8th of November, show that entire neighborhoods controlled by the Israeli Defense Forces (IDF) has been leveled in less than a month, apparently through demolitions. Some experts have argued that the demolitions may violate the terms of the ceasefire brokered by the US, Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey. But an IDF spokesperson told BBC Verify that it was acting in accordance with the ceasefire framework. Well, and that was the news this afternoon. But before we leave, a quick recap. On the news this afternoon, you heard Nigerians are reacting to military role after FCT minister clash with the Navy officer. Military veterans have urged presidency to reprimand the FCT minister over clash with Navy officer. Governor Fubara has frowned at the slow pace of the Indele Omofo Egiamini Agba Indele Road project. Lawmakers have raised an alarm over 95% of entry points into Nigeria not being manned. And on the foreign scene, satellite images have shown that over 1,500 buildings destroyed in Gaza since the ceasefire. The news was edited by Ifechukwu Moyeli. To reach the news team, please send an SMS or WhatsApp message to 0808 721 7215. 0808 721 7215. My name is Jude Omamegbe. Thank you for listening and have yourself a wonderful day ahead. Good afternoon.